Welcome. Thank you for having me. Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist here. Here we go again. We are, oh, you are now live. Good, that's helpful. Thank you. So we're live. Debz Cooper, Global Stressologist, here to talk about boundaries. Oh my gosh, boundaries. Ugh. We know those ones. Yuck, 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 yuck. So thank you for joining me. I would love to know if you are here live or if you're here on a replay. And where you are in the world would be fabulous for me. And if this topic is something that actually resonates with you, because sometimes my topics, I'll just jump this over here, sometimes my topics aren't resonating with some people, so just let me know if there's anything in particular you'd like to. Oh, morning Danielle, thank you. And I miss you Friday mornings coming. Not another story. So how to maintain boundaries from people who deflate you. Oh, even just saying that is so yucky, because when I was talking about this subject, we're talking about boundaries, I started to go, oh, many times I've had this happen to me, many times, and I had all these past stories jump in on me that I've had and I've held on to, and it's purely around boundaries. And they're around my boundaries and other people's boundaries and just pushing past them. So just know for yourself that we are human. We are all human here, having a human experience. So you are human and you're going to slip up sometimes, and you're going to drop the ball with your boundaries, and then other times you're going to be maybe over the top. But they are because of your past stories. So be aware of that. So when I think about this, and I think about my boundaries, I've taken on clients who just haven't been the right fit for me. I know that. And I've taken a client, maybe they've begged for my services, or maybe I just go, oh, this is a really quick one, I can just help them with this, this, and this, and then it just unravels. Or you've jumped into a relationship that just, I'm going to say doesn't feel right, but you're like, yeah, it's filling the gap right now. I'm just going to do this. You know, you've taken a job, or you've taken a job you didn't really feel right. I know there's jobs I've taken in the past when I was temping. Well, now I'm talking 20 plus years ago, because yes, I'm a little bit older than a 20-year-old. 20 plus years ago, where I've taken jobs temping and I've gone, oh, this doesn't feel right, I don't really like this idea, but I'll take it because of the money, or I'll take it because of anything. Or I was thinking about my boundaries. I've loaned people money, or you've invested in something and you've loaned someone money to go, yeah, jump on board, this is a great job, I love the idea, and you've loaned money, and bang, you know what happens. You know what I'm talking about, and you know those ones. So when I talk about boundaries, think of those boundaries for you that have come crumbling down. And my favorite, when I think about boundaries, my favorite is we've all got those friends, and they might be family, or they might be a work colleague or something. We've all got those friends that you just feel drained and you can't think of anything worse than being with. You go, they're like, catch up, let's do this. And you're just like, oh, I can't cope with this. And you don't want to. And you feel literally like there has been a leech that has been stuck to you, and it has sucked all the blood and all the life out of you. I have people like that. It's like I said, you're a human having a human experience here right now. So think of those things when we think about boundaries, because they could be those people that are closest to you. They might be complete strangers. They might not be. So what we're going to do is I'm going to teach you how to understand what boundaries are and how to handle those people, whether close or near or distant from you. So first, what is boundaries? And when I started looking at boundaries, I was very firm on what boundary was. But of course, you know, going back, I went and reverted to the dictionary and had a look up the dictionary. And it said, a line which marks the limit of an area, whatever, a dividing line. And I went, wow, it is totally a dividing line. A dividing line as in, you will not cross my boundary. You will not cross this boundary, and it is a dividing line. But that line may be black or white, or it may be grey, and it may be a little bit wonky. Instead of gaily forward straight, maybe a little bit wonky. So when you think about that, and it's a line, a dividing line, yeah, It's quite a harsh one, isn't it? Because it makes you go, am I this way or am I this way? And it gives you that fine, fine line of where am I going? What am I doing? What are my boundaries here? So when I defined boundaries for me, I said they're protective mechanisms. I thought they were protective mechanisms and they guide you to your truth. So when I talk about your truth, I'm talking about your truth, not others' truth. And they are there to guide you to your truth. And when I say protective mechanisms, protective means keep you away from evil. But as you know, life has light and dark, absolutely, and it's about that balance in between. So you can't have your light without your dark, and you can't have your dark without your light. Just a simple thing there. So when we say keep you away from evil, most people label dark as evil. So when we say protective from that evil, it's actually just the guiding line, that fine line of actually making you choose if you go left or right. So when I think about that, that's how what I say boundaries are. So let me know what you think boundaries are. That would be amazing. I'd love to know your perception on that. And when I think about boundaries and how it relates to self-love, self-love is so important. If you didn't see my video last week, jump in and have a look at it, because it's really important to manage our functioning in this world, and self-love is so important for that. So boundaries are incredibly, incredibly important for self-love. You must put yourself first. It is one of those things that we say, oh, we can't do that because I've got children and I need to do this and I need to pay this and I need to do this. But if you don't put yourself first, you will get burnt. You'll go to burnout, you'll go to crazy, crazy time, and you will spiral and spin. So you must absolutely put yourself first and what's important to you. So boundaries are important for self-love. They're important for everything, but definitely important for self-love. And if you don't have self-love, you don't function during the day. So what do you think boundaries are? I would love to know that. And yeah, put that in the comments. That would be amazing. So when I think about this, the question I was asked was, how can you maintain boundaries? How can you maintain boundaries, and especially in crazy, chaotic, challenging relationships? So I'm going to give you some tips on this, is how can you maintain boundaries? Because we all know those friends who come in and go, you say, I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to drink tonight. And they come over with alcohol and you're like, okay, I'll have a drink. And all of a sudden you drop your guard down. And then the next day you really regret it because you've said something or done something or woken up and you feel like you've, after a session drinking. We all have those friends who say, oh, let's just go out just one time, I won't ask you again, and you go and do it. And then you're like, why did I do this? All those things. So be aware of others' influence, because they have a large impact in your world. They have a large, large impact in your world. What have we got here? Especially allow people. Yes, that's exactly it, Danielle. I love that. I see boundaries is how much you allow people in and what you allow yourself to intake from them as well. Absolutely, that makes sense. That is exactly it. And our boundaries are so, so important to our growth mentally and physically around us. So how can you maintain boundaries, especially in challenging situations? So be aware of your PEMS, P-E-M-S, and that is your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual state. So if your PEMS is out of sync, if you're feeling rough, you may say yes to people more than you would normally say no. If you've had a lack of sleep, you may say no today to something, but tomorrow you may have had an amazing sleep and you may say yes. So to maintain those boundaries, be aware of your PEMS, your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. They play a very large role in how you get through your day. One of the great things that I do is I say no. I say no, 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 no. Now, I don't say it all the time. I'm a bit of a yes girl sometimes, and sometimes I'm a no, depending on my PEMS. But I say no, and I use it often, because if it doesn't fit, no doesn't mean no No just means no right now. Maybe in an hour's time I can do that, but right now, no, because I'm doing something. So say no and mean it. You can always change your mind. Like me, you can always change your mind to a yes or a maybe, or let me think about it. That's okay if you just say no, but just say no right now and it's parked and it's done. If those people don't respect you, they've seen a little gap in your no. You're like, no, 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 no. And that's K-N-O-W, the one I'm talking about, that if you see someone say that, there's a yes or a maybe in there, and they just need a little bit more convincing. So when they say no, respect them, respect yourself for saying no, and move on from that. Doesn't mean no forever. Well, it might do until their PEMS is in a different sort of order. So the other thing is how to maintain boundaries is be busy. Be busy. So if they ask you, can you pop over and help me do this job, and you're busy doing something for you, and I'm talking about you're busy, not someone else is busy. If you're busy doing something for you, you're less likely to go and do that because you've got something yourself to do. So be busy, you're busy. Now, I'm not saying say no, 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 no all the time. No, I can't do this. No, I can't do this. Just be aware of that, but be busy, you're busy, because when you're busy and you're doing things that are inspiring for you, you light up and you ignite. Not often do you go and do that same stuff for someone else for no return or anything, and you're lit up the same. So be busy, you're busy. The other thing is speak with love. Speak with love. And speaking with love is really, really, really important. And when I say speak with love, I'm talking about speak from the heart. Speak from the heart freely. No, none of this, none of this. Speak with certainty and love. It's wise to have empathy, but not where you have guilt or obligation. So have your empathy like, I just can't do that. You don't have to say, I'm sorry, I can't do that, because you're not sorry. You've got other things to do. I'm sorry, I can't do that. So none of this. Just say, thanks for the offer. It just doesn't work in my time frame today. That's it. Now, you're not saying, maybe I'll do that again for you or whatever. It doesn't work in my time frame today. And they'll go, can you do it tomorrow? I don't know what my time frame is tomorrow. Is there anyone else you can ask? Can you see how I just diverted that back to them? Is there anyone else you can ask to help you? Now, we have friends and we use our friends. We definitely use our friends, and we all go for a win-win. So be aware of your energy and how much obligation. Oh, they did this to me last time, so I need to do that. Because when I say speak with empathy, guilt and obligation is two killers in your world. So obligation is when I've done something for you and you're now going to do it for me, or I expect you to do that because I've spent 5 days at your house cleaning, and now I expect you to come to my house and clean. So obligation is an icky thing. Remember this, obligation. You don't owe anyone anything. You don't owe anyone anything. And I'm saying that to you as a parent. I'm saying that to you as a partner. I'm saying that to you as a brother, sister, child, whatever business person. You don't owe anyone anything. Well, maybe money. Maybe if you owe someone money, like the bank or something. But you don't owe anyone anything. If it doesn't work in your time frame, you must say no. You must say no. It's incredibly important to you. Guilt. Guilt is an icky, icky, icky thing, and guilt means you've hurt them. You have guilt because you've hurt them. Remember, and this is it with guilt, because guilt and obligation go hand in hand, and they are a pain in the ass, no questions. Guilt means you perceive you have hurt them. Remember, they were also a player involved in the game you were playing, whatever game that is. They were also a player involved in that. So you don't owe them anything, obligation, and they were also involved. So you don't, just because you told them to invest in something and it was going to make them $1 million and it didn't make them $1 million, don't have guilt for that. They played in that game. Drop the guilt, drop the obligation, and you'll be able to say no more often when you speak with love. Remember when you get burnt, because we've all been burnt. We've totally all been burnt with things we've done in our world, in our past. Absolutely. So when you get burnt, remember, it's a reminder of a time previously that you dropped your boundary. That's all it is. It's just oh, I did this again. Oh, I got in the same relationship again. Oh, why didn't I learn my lesson? Yep. So when you get burnt and it's a reminder, acknowledge it. Just go, oh, I know why this has happened, or I remember this. This is because of this, this, and this. Okay, that's it, done. Then you can deal with it, but you must acknowledge it. So being burnt is just a reminder that you dropped your boundary. That's all. That's all it is. It's not a big thing. It's just, yeah, okay, I get that. There's another thing that we do when we talk about our boundaries, and that is desperation. Desperation is such a yuck word. Desperation is also a key to dropping our boundaries and maintaining our boundaries. You know how I talked about taking on clients or jumping into a relationship, or you took a job that didn't feel right for you or something, or you something along those lines? Desperation. So be aware of your desperation. And this all comes down to your PEMS, yet again, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual. So just be aware of this stuff. And the last thing I'm going to give you, the last tip I'm going to give you about how to maintain boundaries is be grateful. Be grateful for the experience that you're dealing with right now. Be grateful they've shown you something. Be grateful that you've shown yourself something. Be grateful that you're aware of something. Be truly grateful. And then you can move on with absolute love in your heart for yourself and for those around you. So how to maintain boundaries from people who deflate you? That's me signing off. I love the gratitude. Just write yourself a little, yeah, I'm grateful this happened to me. Write yourself a little thank you note. Even if it doesn't, even if it feels false, write it down and just see what happens to your body. Like, this is interesting. Let me know what resonated with you out of this today, how to maintain boundaries. Say no more often would be my biggest thing. But be grateful for what you have, be grateful for what you don't have, and be aware of your PEMS. So this is Debz Cooper signing off. Thank you for joining me. How to maintain boundaries from people who deflate you. You better not be watching this if I deflate you. You better be private messaging me. Let me know what resonates. Let me know what didn't. That is me over and out today. Thank you very much. Have a fabulous day or night.